Hello everyone, my name is Tam France. You might know me from the likes of Next in Fashion or Queer Eye, but today I'm letting you in on my most personal project yet, the build of my dream home right here in Salt Lake City. I'm gonna take you through to the likes of my spice kitchen, my cottage, my closet, the exterior, interior, and pretty much everything in between. You're gonna love it. Join me, won't you? My family were raised in a small town in a working class community, and we lived in a home that had 3 bedrooms for all 7 of us. I shared a bedroom with my brother and my mum and dad until I was 9. That existence I thought was going to be my existence for my entire life. And that version of England was really the only version of England I actually understood. I would see fancier homes, nicer homes, typically white people's homes on TV, and they had such a beautiful aesthetic. I can't believe that we get to infuse some of the England that I dreamt of so much as a kid in our home.
I'm Tom Fox with the Fox Group.
And I'm Kara Fox. Welcome to our office. We are helping Tan and Rob build their dream home. Yay, welcome.
Hello, Kara.
Hi,
Thanks for having us. Tan specifically was wanting an old English Tudor home that looked like it had been around for a really, really long time.
But also to include all like the modern luxuries of today's living.
Correct.
Okay, I'm dying to see what we got. I want it to really feel like an old worldy English Tudor home.
It's like we've inherited this home, like it's been passed down. One of the things that I love most about England is the Tudor architecture. And the thing that I love is that it's just so old and it's been handed down. It's got so much character. It's just a part of the landscape.
Can we show them a version? So this image here, the beams look old. The white doesn't look like a perfect white. We want it to feel like grandma's house.
Yeah.
We're grandma's.
We love grandma's house.
And we want to feel like we're at home. Perfect construction, but not for it to look like it's perfect.
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
It's a tall order.
These are new, made to look very old.
Yeah, that does look old.
I think I prefer the darker.
The darker tint, the imperfection of this is exactly what we want.
Is what we're
You
going
like
for.
the more tumbled brick.
Yeah, it looks like it's
looks
weathered.
aged,
Yeah.
yeah.
We've designed a conservatory greenhouse.
And the steel we're using because it weathers better than the aluminum's just gonna look too perfect.
Aluminum will always look perfect.
Yeah, let's not go
Steel
for that.
will weather the way that they do in England.
Great, okay.
The 100-year-old conservatories.
I think we have a great design. I think there's some really...
We know that.
Well, I mean, there's some unique, quirky overhangs and different things you wouldn't normally see on more of a contemporary home. But it's not the easiest thing to do, to make, those houses in the Cotswolds and London.
That's why we came to you, Tom.
No, and we're gonna be able to do it. It goes down to picking out the correct, materials.
When you go through these homes in England, it's like small ceilings, not a ton of light in the house, but yet it's the most charming thing on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do we give you the convenience of modern living with light and, scale, but make this look so authentic and old on the exterior?
We broke ground last fall. I got to see it dug, framing, and it was the best feeling. The fact that I get to infuse some of the English culture that I always so desperately wanted in my home now at my age, middle age, feels incredible. It feels like success to me. The outdoors of this property are just as important as the indoors, but they are not two separate spaces. Because the house is so cottagey, we want it to feel very English outside. We're gonna add a pool, which is not very English at all, but everything else about this is going to feel like an old English estate, even though we're in Salt Lake City. And including the house, we wanna make sure that the exterior of the house also feels very typically English. Cara, Tom, Should we talk about bricks?
Let's do it. This one is more of a queen size tumbled brick. Looks a little rough around the edges. I think it's more authentic.
I want it to look like it's been knocked about by the weather for years.
Yeah.
We have a few reps that are looking around the country trying to find old buildings that have this that we can restore and potentially put on your house. So,
Great.
which would be even the most authentic look you could possibly
Yes, and sustainable, which we always like.
Correct.
And then the top of the house, you know we want to stick with the black and white English Tudor style.
Correct.
And drawing also from your inspiration, Liberty, London.
Yeah.
I think trying to make it look as authentic to that as we can.
Yeah.
And also your current home. You love
And your
that it has
current
the
home.
black, it has that
love.
old plaster
Beautiful.
attached to those old black beams and wood. It really creates a charm to a home that's really hard to find.
Thank you for that. I'm going to go figure out what we're doing with the landscaping.
Yes.
Well, let's go see Emily, shall we? Rob and I, neither of us do any kind of gardening. We are not landscapers at all. But we need the landscaping to be equally beautiful because that's the thing that finishes off the home. It doesn't matter how gorgeous a house is from the outside. If the landscaping isn't great, it kind of negates what you've done. And so working with Emily has been priceless. Okay, so we're doing English, English, English.
English, it is.
We want this whole exterior to feel very much traditional and very particular, which is, are you calling it a tuxedo garden?
Tuxedo garden.
We love a tuxedo garden. All white, all green, nothing else.
We'll be using the boxwood hedge, a laurel hedge, and then we'll be using beech. And
Great.
those, all three of which are very English, and they should bring that feel into the garden.
Gorgeous. Is there anything native to Utah?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
I have a miscanthus grass and the pensedum grass, and also I have the hydrangeas, which they're drought tolerant.
Because as much as I want it to look as English as possible, I would love to incorporate some of our surroundings, and so to have some Utah native plants would be amazing.
We're going to plan on using these stones, the dark black limestone and the white limestone, together, the 6-inch diamonds.
So many London homes have this at the very entrance, and I think it's gorgeous. And any way we can incorporate just kisses of England, I will take it.
We have also the dining garden.
We are literally going to have an outdoor table that we can dine at.
The seating for 10.
Great.
And then you'll have the fountain in the background. You get to hear the water, to be relaxing and absolutely stunning. This is a fixture from England.
Yeah.
And there's some planters we'll actually incorporate as well with the cricket yard below.
We're calling it the cricket yard. Now, I want to make something very clear. My kids might end up hating cricket. However, I was raised on cricket. I remember those moments with my uncles and my brothers so distinctly. It was such a beautiful memory that I hope I can recreate. And so I just want to have it available just in case I can convince them. They're probably going to want to play some American sport that I've never heard of. But let's hope we can go for that. I can't wait to get started on this. You've come up with the most beautiful plan. I know it's going to be gorgeous. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. One of my biggest issues with the house is that we have to have a retaining wall. So we cut into a mountain. Retaining walls were necessary, large retaining walls. And I quite honestly hate a retaining wall. I think that they just don't look nice regardless of what material you use. And so Emily was working on sourcing some trees that would cover at least the top layer of the retaining wall. And then at the bottom, we're going to come up with possibly ivy. I just want to make sure that you really can't see it because as far as I'm concerned, it's an eyesore.
We're here and it's the end of May, so we're bringing in some plants to cover the walls here at the France property. Tan really wants to have a lush amount of green in the property, so we selected these because they are English and also because they are a little bit less maintenance. We have a crane over here and it's going to be craning in a whole bunch of mulch, but we have dug holes all the way across and we'll be bringing in 16-foot trees and they're emerald green arborvitaes. There is only a couple of varieties of trees I could actually put in that would keep the integrity of the walls. These root balls are 36 inches wide, and so I need to keep them narrow enough that they wouldn't get so wide inside of that cavity that they push the walls out, but also actually find trees tall enough to cover the retaining walls. I just want to make sure I get them in the ground so they're healthy and that they're growing well. I'm trying this spring to get most of the retaining walls covered as best we can. The last week of September, first week of October, we'll start planting the garden.
Since I last came to the house, they've added the beams, the black beams to the house that hopefully will be dark. For it to look classically English, traditional, I wanted it to feel weathered, aged, not perfect wood. And I also want it to feel jet black. That is a massive concern. I've been really anxious about it.
I'm most nervous about the wood that he wanted to look like it was
Authentic.
1,000 years old on the exterior.
Yeah.
I think I'm most nervous about that just because it's something that's brand new.
Well, if you remember, we have the special material that looks like old material that will actually last for a very long time. And we painted it and made sure it looked perfect just before we installed it.
And that beam work against the brick needs to be the right balance. It needs to not be too dark of a brick. It needs to be not too light of a brick.
Finding the right brick, we wanted them to be tumbled, to look old, and to be worn. Tan likes a particular red. And then after sourcing the right brick, have to source the right mortar to accompany the brick. Finally, we found the perfect brick, the perfect mortar, and we're able to put those together with the house. So I don't know, hopefully, we'll see. We'll see if it pans out.
I'm obsessed. The beams, perfect. The brick pattern is bananas. I was worried about the color of the brick, but it's exactly right. I was even worried about the color of the cement, like the concrete in between, thinking it might be too light, might be too dark.
The grout, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mortar.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And even down to the texture of the beams and this, like the texture on that, the color of it, it all you could have told me, you know what, Tam, we actually just brought a house from England and just plunked it here. I'm like, yeah, no, I can see it. Even the cracks, it gives it so much character. If this was just perfect, I'd be like, you've got it all wrong. It's not at all what we were looking for.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
perfect.
Just like you said, you wanted a Tudor home that looked like it had been around a little bit of time. So it's all those details, right? So the way that the masonry is done, this is called a common bond, which if you look closely, you'll have the small butt ends of the brick followed by 5 layers.
The detail's
of brick.
insane, yeah.
And then the common bond just starts again.
Even this, the herringbone brickwork, is just such a nice detail to break it up.
It's just those small little details,
Yeah.
right, that you'll appreciate. Same thing with the Tudor timbering. The size of it is done by design. The small
The
curvature
curved part.
done by design.
It's
The
perfect.
curve was hand templated from a ladder
from up top.
30 feet high.
Oh, somebody risked their life.
Somebody
for my
was
house.
their life for
His
this.
name
feel
is
so
his name
honored.
is Max. and
Wow.
He's a very
He's
unique
incredible.
individual.
I've got a feeling the house is worth it.
The big thing we have right now in the exterior of your home is the
Let me guess. This isn't quite right. This wasn't what I was looking for.
You want it authentic. I think it's going to get a little bit cleaner than
Cobblestone.
this. So we just have a lot of landscaping. We have a lot of details.
Because the house is gorgeous, but landscaping will take it to the next level.
As you know, we had the heaviest, wettest winter on record.
I know.
And it was hard to just even access your home for months on end. It causes so many delays in a project, especially up here in the mountains. And so
Project that was already, I know, ambitious.
totally,
Really ambitious, I know.
So it's kind of nice that it's cleared out and we get to finally finish the landscaping
Yeah.
and head towards that finish line.
Just picture it. I could bring out platter of food on a table, family sat here, friends sat there, and that
view.
it's priceless, actually priceless. I mean that literally.
For the past several weeks, we've been trying to get all these retaining walls in the right spots. Covered by the right material from the brick and from different stone, all the right caps, layered in perfectly so that the landscaping can go in seamlessly.
As we've worked through, we were able to see this landscape take form. Right here, you'll see that we use these arborvitae to cover those big, tall retaining walls in the back, and then the espaliers that create more of a European feel for the front of the garden, layering it down with some boxwoods, all of which are not a huge amount of maintenance. We started the garden in September, and we have over 1,000 plants in this garden to be able to get in such a short period of time when we had snow just 2 weeks ago. And so we've had our challenges, but we think it's taken its place beautifully.
In the backyard, several things have changed in the last couple of weeks. We've had to finish off the swimming pool, as well as all of the manicured landscaping and even more tiling and furnishings. Also, we put in the artificial turf around the pool. So we put in all this really beautiful limestone. It's a spotted limestone throughout. It's really pretty. It's really unique. It's really symmetrical, and it's really balanced and even integrated with the turf.
We chose turf because in the last few years here in Salt Lake County, they've given them restrictions on water. You can only water 2 days a week. Also, Tan and Rob won't have to have somebody come out and mow their backyard every week.
We've also installed the beautiful glass atrium space, which will be a stunning outdoor area for Tan and Rob. This amazing glass structure was built off-site by hand and then installed by our craftsmen. It's on an elevated platform, so he'll be able to see entire views of the city. A unique feature about the lot is that it sits up really high, and when you have a high lot, particularly here in Utah's climate, it's cold. And so what we wanted to do is have a radiant heated driveway. By adding the heated driveway in this climate, it just makes it so easy for Rob and Tan to go to and from to the street. And then as you get to the top of the driveway, we just hand laid all this cobble.
It's been 2 years that we've been planning, working, designing this home. It's amazing that we're here.
In the garden, we chose to add some drought-tolerant plants that will do really well with the native landscape that we are working with. Right here we have junipers. They do really, really well with drought tolerancy. Here we have a hydrangea tree form. This one's called Limelight, as well as this Carly Rose grass and this beautiful white blossoming yarrow. Something will always be blooming throughout the year. There should always be something that should catch your eye as you walk through the garden.
There was so much that we were stressed about. Is it going to just look like a silly modern home that we've tried to make look old? Is the brick going to look the right color with the black and white? Is the landscaping going to be too much or too little? This looks like we ripped this out of England, plonked it here, and it's just been. And that is so hard to achieve. Like, it really does look like it's always been here. And I think the landscaping is the perfect complement to this house. Emily's done the most incredible job. Hi, love.
Hi.
It looks so good. I love it so much. Should we talk about how you brought it all to life?
Absolutely.
Okay, so talk to me about how stressful it was creating that drive, because I know it wasn't easy.
Oh, they did such a good job. Our team has been amazing at helping to create the contours at the driveway to create this special space with the cobbles and the heated driveway as well.
I'd love to take a look at the backyard. It's magnificent.
Oh.
I love this garden. You flanked the cottage with trees, hydrangea trees. I love the black and white tile that mirror the black and white tile at the front. Like, every detail has been so important in creating a moment. Like, that's a moment on its own. This is a moment on its own. These square-shaped trees, I'm obsessed with.
They are lime trees made with bamboo to create a screen to hide the retaining walls, but also they are pleached, which is something that they do all over in Europe. By pleaching these trees, you create a layered effect that triples down from the top all the way to the bottom, layering it with different textures, colors, and shapes.
And I know initially we were meant to have we had talked about big terracotta pots. I'm so glad we didn't go with that. It doesn't need it.
Isn't it amazing how things take shape as they move and
Yeah.
you're like, wow, this doesn't fit there. This actually fits better.
Yeah, exactly. As I mentioned, there are so many pockets of beauty. I would love to get up to that greenhouse, glass house, and talk about that beauty.
Let's do it.
Can we? Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Hi.
Look at it all.
Believe it?
Bellstone knocked it out of the park with this. That is gorgeous.
They did a great job.
The thought of having little dinners out here is so exciting. I can't tell you. Like, my friends and family, they're going to love this spot because that view's dynamite.
I mean, the reason why you bought the lot, right?
Yeah.
Is for this.
Yeah.
I thought that it was fun watching the two of you combine the architecture and the landscape architecture. It's a lot more complicated than I think people know.
It starts with a good plan and a good vision and a great design by Emily. There's so many things that have to go together. You have the hardscapes of the landscaping, you have all the walls, and you have all these fixed structures, and then you have to bring in the art, right? All the planting and whatnot. This is just kind of the cherry on top of this incredible house.
It had to feel like an English garden because you created an English home. If either of you are off, you failed.
Right.
Emily is from Utah. She studied in England. You understand English garden better than most people in this town. If it wasn't for you, this would not have worked because no one else could have created an English garden like this.
I'm so glad we can make it for you. You deserve
Me
this
too.
beautiful garden.
I don't know if I deserve it, but I sure do appreciate it.
Well,
Sure do appreciate it.
We're grateful to create it.
Are you happy? Like, proud of it?
I just think it fits you guys and balances you guys so well. The architecture resembles the owners.
Gosh, you must think we're stunning. I mean, I know you do love symmetry,
I do.
but I think that's a really strong case for why symmetry isn't always the best option.
100%. You have all the small details of something that you would see in an English cottage or an English Tudor home, but it's still balanced.
Yeah,
and
it is.
and it still works.
It sure
That's
is.
perfect. I could stare at this house forever.
Same. I hope I get to stare at this house
I never
forever.
want to leave.
Same. I quit my job in show business. I'm never leaving this house again. Thank you. That's literally all I can say. Thank you so much.
Oh, we're so
Welcome home.
grateful.
Thank you so
Welcome
much.
home.
You gave us exactly what we wanted and more. Like, truly, you did tell us that was going to happen. You were like, yeah, the
I said-
renderings are pretty, but wait till you
Wait till
actually
you
see
see
the
it.
It's incredible. Right. Shall we go in and get warm?
Let's do it.
Go.
At the end of the day, it fits them and it's home for them. And that gives us probably the most satisfaction. Being able to create something for somebody where they're gonna have memories, where they're gonna have traditions, where they're gonna spend time with friends and family, it doesn't get better than that for us. And hopefully they enjoy it so much, so.
Knowing that they're happy makes us happy.
My kids, my eldest in particular, is an outdoor child. Finally, we have a space that he can enjoy, where he can play outdoors. And it doesn't feel like it's just for the kids. It feels like a kid's space and an adult space. So the fact that my family can spend a heck of a lot of time outside enjoying every one of these spaces feels incredible. It's not just a home, it's so much more than that. The exterior of this home is now exactly what we had hoped for and more. The home itself is gorgeous, it's a Tudor. The landscaping is English landscaping. We have managed to create what feels like an old English estate in the heart of Salt Lake City. I have no words for that.